Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines this morning. SEC's new cop on the beat, and he's talking about crypto amnesty. I don't think a lot of people are going to like it. Brad Garlinghouse is a sheesh burlo on RippleNet and Swift. Tranglo and Ripple on-demand liquidity news, and it's very, very good. And this may be too. Settlement talks in the SEC versus Ripple case in the next 14 days. We'll get into that because it's going to have a mediator to go along with it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at DigPerspectives. To back up Bradley's no more, it is at DIG Perspectives, no spaces is the Twitter handle. I'm going to get that changed. I got to talk to my friend. I haven't had a chance to do it as of yet. Right now, good morning. It is March 1st, 2022, everybody. It is $1.95 trillion market cap, almost back to $2 trillion level there. We see 10.62% up for the entire crypto space here. Bitcoin above 43,000, almost 44 now, up 16.88% on the 7-day. 14.59 on the 24 hours. So you can see a lot of money rushing back into the space in the last 24. Ethereum, $2,900 plus right now. XRP is 77 cents. The range of price on XRP this morning is looking like we are at 72 cents on the bottom and 79 cents on the top. Let's get started here. Masterworks, I've told you guys, look, none of what we talk about is financial advice. I'm sharing my digital perspectives. And one of my core tenets as an investor is stacking my pennies next to the richest people's dollars. And that's what I'm doing here with Masterworks. That's right. You can participate and be an owner in blue chip investing on paintings, on multi-million dollar paintings for a very, very low cost. $20 a security is what you're buying. So $20 a pop, you can buy in on some of the richest artwork in the world, most expensive artwork in the world, and it's outpacing currently, not financial advice, but S&P 9.5%, contemporary annual art 13.6%, Masterworks track record 15.8, baby. And in a volatile market like this and many other things these days, I'm doing what the rich people do. I'll put a link underneath this video. Elizabeth Warren continues to call and pound the ground. Cryptocurrencies risk undermining sanctions against Russia, allowing Putin and his cronies to evade economic pain. U.S. financial regulators need to take this threat seriously and increase their scrutiny of digital assets. Remember, not that long ago in the congressional hearing with Nellie Liang from the U.S. Treasury Undersecretary, what did she say? I'll tell you what she said. She said she wanted to know why FSOC and the Treasury have not acted already before the threat becomes real and damaging, because they can deem things systemically important and make regulations regardless of what the SEC and CFTC or government are doing. We will keep an eye on it. But here's what's happening from the market regulator, the SEC, and the new cop on the beat is the Gerwal. I think it's you know what? Let's get into it here, because his name is Gerwal. That's what it is. And basically, the SEC's commission will not offer amnesty to cryptocurrency companies that self-report violations of securities laws. Although they may face smaller penalties, the agency's enforcement director told Reuters. Gerwal first remarks on crypto in an interview provide greater clarity as how cryptocurrency companies can expect to be treated under the SEC's new democratic leadership. And it's not good, ladies and gentlemen. The industry complained that the agency is left in the dark about how to comply with U.S. rules. His comments, though, will disappoint some in the industry, most, I would say, who had hopes the SEC would encourage companies flouting its rules to voluntarily come under its oversight by giving them a one-time free pass. Gerwal says, our message to them is not register your product and we'll just ignore the billions you have under management in this crypto lending product and your violations of the securities law. Ooh. There will be no amnesty, is what he's saying here. Not good is what we're talking about. which may mean that this guy, Joseph Lubin, founder, creator, along with Vitalik Buterin, of Ethereum, the fundraise, consensus, and listen to what he says in this clip here, because he could be in the crosshairs next.
Joe, what happens if other protocols that trade speed for centralization, or speed or centralization, I guess, for security is really the issue here, gain adherence in the interim between now and then? I'm thinking about Ripple, for example, or I'm thinking about EOS.
So Ripple isn't really a blockchain technology. It's a sort of a payment system. So I don't really consider that a competitor.
So let's say
he didn't consider it a competitor. Well, I tell you what, let's see those 63 email drafts, which we probably will never see. And I bet you there's quite a bit of talk in there that would show quite a different argument here. But nevertheless, Ethereum may be next in the crosshairs if the SEC's new cop on the beat, Gerwal, goes after them and anyone else who's been out here. We'll see. Bad news for Ethereum founders is what John Deaton says, like we're talking here. He says, comments from Gerwal's comments about, there's no amnesty. There's going to be no free one-time pass. We will see how this unfolds. Let's keep going. There's a lot to discuss here. We covered Ashish Birla yesterday, laying out the reality of crypto and blockchain's role and lack thereof to evade global sanctions, with the talk of Russia using cryptocurrency from Elizabeth Warren and other political pundits around the world and government officials. We have heard lots of talk about this. We've even heard Russia, in their saber rattling talk about the idea of a new system they already have built and using that to obfuscate the sanctions from SWIFT. But listen to what he says here, and a follow-up here from Brad Garlinghouse as well. Check it out.
It's not as easy as it might sound for the Russian government to get around sanctions using crypto. Liquidity is one big problem. It's hard to find places to buy large amounts of Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. These markets are what they call thinly traded compared to the rest of global foreign exchange. The Bitcoin ruble pair, for example, maxes out at $200,000 per trade, even on the world's largest exchanges.
There is this narrative out there that, hey, if you shut off SWIFT, you shut off Russia, they'll just use Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies to move money. But, Russia needs to move $50 billion a day. And, just by comparison, the ruble to Bitcoin market is about $200,000 of liquidity at any given moment. So that is, completely unlikely that they're going to be able to use crypto to move money and put a dent in that $50 billion. Secondly, even if they were to move money, the endpoints to get money off, crypto are highly regulated.
Ripple pulled some of this data for us. If you look at the Bitcoin US dollar pair,
so it goes into the rest of it. And we did cover this written article on this conversation. So he goes on to break down the actual physical numbers, that there's not enough liquidity for Bitcoin per se to settle what they need to do in Russia to get around the sanctions of SWIFT. Now, what I want to show you here and build on here is this understanding right here. Ashish Birla lays out the reality of crypto, blockchains, lack thereof to evade global sanctions. To clear any confusion, Brad Garlinghouse says RippleNet, while being able to do much more than just a messaging a la SWIFT, abides by international law and OFAC sanctions, period, full stop. How about that one? This is a reminder here that really that falls in line with what Elizabeth Warren has been pounding the ground in these congressional hearings, because OFAC and FSOC are regulatory bodies connected to the Treasury. And those are the entities that can come in and deem something systemically important, along with a few other agencies that have the ability to offer that designation as well. So this is getting interesting. And the reason that I'm showing you this is because I also want to bring in this understanding too. If we look here, this is what I believe is a good speculative document, an image that I've brought together. You may have seen it before, but I'll just enlarge it just a little bit here. RippleNet, I believe, is the ability to be the digital arm of SWIFT. DTC could possibly be a new digital side for that, could be PolySign. I'm speculating here, but these are the market infrastructure things I believe we've been watching over the years be developed. And quite possibly would have to ask ourselves, if Ripple does control the XRP escrow, would they become a backstop for the Federal Reserve and the world, because they do have a money called XRP in escrow, which they have been using, I believe, as a good steward, monetary policy of that asset for many years now. You know, all speculative, but I mean, if you think about the fact that we all know they've been building market infrastructure, listen to this, because there's even more to go along with this to give it a little credence here, at least at some point. This is from the Tony Valentino. I don't know if it's the original Tony Valentino account, but it's certainly a worthy post, so I grabbed it. And this is an old war simulation, digital currency war simulation from back in November 2019. And I believe I first saw it originally floating around from Digital Asset Investor. Shout out to him. But listen to the first few moments of this. I want you to catch some of this. Check it out.
Undistinct option. Yes,
are
ma'am.
you suggesting that we can't do this alone as the U.S. government, that we don't have the ability?
That's
Perhaps
exactly
should
the question we should ask the Secretary of the
yes,
Treasury.
Secretary of the Treasury.
Secretary Summers, does Treasury have the capability and technical know-how to successfully implement a digital dollar?
The answer is that the SWIFT system is an interbank system. You cannot meaningfully work on an interbank system without working with the private sector.
So that's number one. Keep listening.
Right now, we have one network that doesn't work very well. The worst idea in the world would be to now try to have two.
Boom. There it is right there. So he's saying if you already have SWIFT, you're going to have to make it better, not have a second network. So keep listening.
SWIFT and some other separate cyber project. We have this under control. We've got a public sector-led team with the relevant private sector actors that is hardening SWIFT. And a hard SWIFT that will be secure has to be our first priority.
Option.
And if you look at the tweet that's shared here to match up with what's going on in this 2019 simulation, I believe it's a 2018 tweet from David Schwartz, RippleNet perhaps, but one obvious pivot would be to positioning XRP to settle SWIFT payments. And this is really going in tandem to what he says here, you know, remarking in this simulation, this digital currency war simulation of 2019 here. And you can see Gary Gensler at the time sitting there as well. But the interesting thing about that is there's no need to have two systems because it would confuse and make it even worse. So it's really suggesting that, you know, if Ripple has truly done its job, and I believe they have, that at some point we see that kind of merger acquisition collaboration take place. Now, the tweet under this is about the MoneyGram was the real test. And now we have news about Tranglo, which we're about to get into as well, and using on-demand liquidity in all of its corridors. But I wanted to remind you this about MoneyGram back when MoneyGram was being used by Ripple before the SEC lawsuit. Take a listen to this when we were in Singapore with David Schwartz.
Such an incredible win-win. Yeah. And the biggest thing for us is that it means that we have effectively an unlimited source of volume for on-demand liquidity transactions, and we have a motivated customer. So, and to be honest, like, it took us a while to get it right. It's been kind of a bumpy road, and it's nice to have somebody who can provide you as much volume as you can handle, so you can test easily, and without having someone who's got some patience and understanding. And the road's gotten a lot less bumpy recently. Real-time applications, and now it's just a matter of ramping up volume.
And now it's just a matter of ramping up volume at the time. And you could still apply that understanding to everything else they're doing, like Tranglo. And that's where we have this amazing news coming in. Tranglo enables ODL XRP for all corridors connected 25 countries, over 100 offices. Of course, some corridors only may be one way for now. but that is a bit of crypto sunshine today from Wrath of Conman here. Tranglo enables the Ripple on-demand liquidity service across its 25 payment corridors. It goes on to say here, just to give you a size of this, it is 100 countries, 2,500 mobile operators, 1,300 banks and wallets, 130,000 cash pickup points. Tranglo is a power partner of Ripple, the leading enterprise blockchain solution for global payments, and enhances cross-border payout services with an even wider coverage throughout RippleNet, Ripple's global payment network. There you go, right there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's no joke. It's going on. ODL leverages the digital asset XRP to facilitate low-cost cross-border payments. You see it right there. So before we get out of here, I want you to check this out, because this is from Jeremy Hogan here, excuse me, who says and reminds us here that 14 days following the close of Fact Discovery, which really just closed yesterday apparently, there will be a 1-hour settlement conference in the SEC versus Ripple. Interesting thing about this, he says, yes, a 1-hour settlement discussion happened a couple months ago. It didn't settle, which means that the next most likely settlement time would be at mediation. Oh, well, then maybe I misunderstood. So they've already had the settlement talk and nothing came of it. So the next time, he's saying most likely settlement time would be at mediation. So see arrow below, which will be hosted by one and only Judge Netburn, who has seen all the documents in camera. So there's been one already, and there will be another one that will be hosted by Judge Netburn. So this is getting interesting. And then to go on to add to this, also says here that XRP Crypto Wolf says, since Judge Netburn has seen all the ETH and XRP documents, then could she highly recommend the SEC to settle with Ripple? Jeremy Hogan says, that's why I mentioned it. She knows exactly what are in the emails, etc. And if I'm correct in the SEC is the problem child, that could make a big difference. A good mediator can really work miracles. 333, XRP says, so a settlement could come around April, May, and summary judgment around September. Is that correct? Jeremy Hogan says, yes. Perfect summation. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Who knows what goes on? We'll keep an eye on it, but that's where we're at today. I will catch all of you on the next one.